I am Monica Nagpal from Hope and Happiness, and I work with women and children to bring out their inherent potential to become happy and hopeful so that they can live a fulfilled and meaningful life and also become exemplary. And I believe together we can. In the current series of Becoming Money Wise, I'm speaking to women who have become exemplary in the field of finance. And today in this conversation, I welcome Kavita Checker. Hello, Kavita.
Thank you, Monica. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, so I will give a small introduction to Kavita before she can take over. So Kavita is a qualified ICWA, and after her graduation from here, she started her career with Sandoz. After marriage, she has been handling all accounts and taxation of her family business for the last 16 years. She has been an active Lions Club International member, and in 2016, under her surveillance, they started one program called Shiksha Chetna. This was a service program in which underprivileged children were taken care of. And during the tenure of 2018 to 19, she was elected the president of the club. During the tenure of her presidency, she started 2 computer centers for blind children. For her hobbies, she loves cooking, she loves traveling, and most of all, she loves spending time with her family. Probably she doesn't get much of the time because of her tight schedule, so she really loves spending time with her family. So welcome, Kavita. Please share something more about yourself.
Yeah, after when I realized that I have to introduce myself, I started thinking, and I'm a very simple person with very simple needs, little needs for myself. I'm a family person. I like to go along with the growth of the family. I'm also a career-oriented person, want to grow in life. I'm focused on my goals, and I am just hardworking, very disciplined. I'm also resilient and very adaptable. I have undergone a challenging medical situation in my life, and I have come up from the very lower levels of breakdown, and now finally on track in my family, my career, as a wife and as a parent.
Wonderful, so wonderful, Kavita. So understanding some things from you that you have been handling the family business. So as we will be talking a lot about women financial literacy, financial empowerment of the women, and how as like they have been people, they have been saving, like women have been saving, and now we are bringing about this whole series during the Diwali season. So woman has been a Lakshmi. She has been called Lakshmi, but it is very less times that she has been given the key to her Lakshmi. Like she has not been given the key to her Lakshmi, though she has been called Lakshmi. And I will share a few points and few data regarding this also. So the research shows that the women reinvest to up to 90% of their incomes in their families compared to 30 to 40% by men. Despite this, despite being recognized like this across the world as being better credit risk, women are more likely to be financially excluded than men. Women are 15% less likely than men to open the bank account, a pattern that holds in all religions of the world and across income groups within countries. It's not about India, but across the world, women open the accounts in their bank less. So this is a very, very important thing to consider, that why now we will understand that why women are not being able to open the bank accounts, and what is that the key to house is given to the bank women but not the key to the bank.
I would talk more about all this in the Indian context. I am not much aware of the world as such. But like in India, most from long ages, the woman has been considered more as a mother, wife, daughter, sister, and not as an individual person. So she's not been given financial independence at all. And even nowadays when the woman is working, so she earns money for the family but has very less to say on the financial matters or financial decisions of the family. She is either not allowed, maybe, or even if she's allowed, I think she's scared because the finance seems a big word to her, and for all these years, maybe she has not seen anybody doing this, so she's a little scared, and still that is why the not opening bank accounts or not taking financial decisions along with the family members.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, and the scenario is changing, and it must change also. The woman must invest her time in finding out how the banking transactions work, how to pay the utility bills, and even nowadays online or physically, she must be aware of all the things, and even she must know how much the family owns somebody, or somebody owns the family. All this she must keep herself updated. She keeps herself updated on all the fashions and other women related natures. But even these financial matters, she must know that it is very important for her, equally as the fashion is. So nobody will come and give her on a platter this. She has to keep herself abreast. And nowadays there are so many means on the net, good newspaper, magazines, everything. So she must read and keep her updated on financial matters.
Wonderful, wonderful, absolutely right. And I must say that we should learn something from this. So why do you think that women have been like so apprehensive about going to the bank and saving? Like, don't they trust the bank system? They want to just keep everything in their cupboards, not they go and give it in the bank. Why this so?
No, actually, I think the women have already seen, from the ages, the money being saved by the mothers in the cupboards. It may be because, there were no much banks also earlier. The woman already doesn't have financial dependence. She's already dependent on the others. So when she needs for herself, there is no money. So she's always been, saving slowly and steadily in the cupboard so that for a rainy day or for some security reason she needs it. Because even the money from the common savings of the family go more for the needs of the family rather than for herself. So I think that is why a woman always kept some money aside without anybody knowing where it is being kept, so that whenever she needs it for her own security purposes, she can use that money.
Absolutely.
And that may still continue, but I think post demonetization specifically, the things are changing. The people are opening bank accounts, and even banks, like you can say, have come very close to us. Now in every residential area, or we find a bank in the new societies which are coming up. They advertise that there is a bank inside because it's a need of the day. So banks also have moved closer to us, and so a lady should invest in a savings account rather than in a cupboards.
Yeah, so wonderfully said. So again, understanding that otherwise it was in some of the kitchen boxes, somewhere in the cupboards, or somewhere she used to hide the money. And after post demonetization, actually there were a lot of women, they went all out because it was required that they had to go and submit in the bank. So they went all out and opened their accounts. But again, the data says that it was not used. Like, the accounts were opened, but they are all dormant accounts. They are not very regularly used accounts. And now I was reading again that the government has also come up, especially for the rural areas, that they have come up with the schemes of zero balance account in the account balance, so that the women should not feel that if they don't have any money to go, they should, that the way should be always open, that I can go and deposit, even if there is no deposit for the bank, but I can go and deposit whenever I will have. So that zero deposit, zero balance scheme has also come up and really helped a lot of women to really have a bank account, and they can go and just submit. So again, to understand one more thing, that do you have a separate savings accounts for women, like for their facility? As you said, the banks have moved closer to us. But are we also giving separate facilities for women? Do we have savings accounts separately for women?
Yeah, yes, we do have. See, now savings account a woman has to open. That she has to take the initiative and open, because that's the way today. You can't just go on living in the old manner. You have to change according to the times. So all the banks, public sector, private sector banks, all the banks have separate women savings account by one or the other name, and they give facilities. Now these women savings account, the normal they do have the facilities of mobile banking, net banking, like the normal savings account. But in addition, they have some more advantages, such as low transaction fees. If they take loan, then the processing charges are less. They have insurance cover. Some banks even offer cash withdrawal and deposits at home. This facility is not in all, but most of the bank have some or the other special benefits for the women. They allow less transaction fees. They have some reward points on these saving banks. So many schemes are there. One must just go and find out and open this saving account. And even besides saving, even for women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yeah, who want to go ahead and start even a small business, the major hindrance is finance.
Absolutely. So the capital,
the government and even all the financial institutions, they offer loans at low interest rates to the women, and the amount it starts from as low as 50,000 rupees. There are many schemes by the government. One is the Annapurna scheme, specifically for the women who want to start some enterprise in the food section, catering, tiffin services. Then there by SBI, there is Shri Shakti project. Dena Bank has Dena Shakti scheme. So all the institutions, by some or the other name, they have special facilities for women for savings accounts, as well as carrying on business. Women entrepreneur can always go ahead, find out which scheme suits her the best, and take loans.
Wonderful. So this is wonderful. So actually, by earning, a woman starts to earn, but if she is not able to manage her finances, then it is a great difficulty for her, because just earning is not financial empowerment. Empowerment comes when you are able to manage your finances also. So the inclusivity of the females, the women, is very, very important in the financial sector also. Yeah. So another thing which I wanted to understand here is for our viewers also, women who will be listening this, that what are because not everybody will go out and invest in the stocks or the equities and all, but are there more savings products in the banks where they can just, because if they are some places from the rural or from the lower classes, they really want to go and do some, they are reachable only to the bank, they are accessible only to the bank, so they are not accessible to the stock market or the real estate market, so they want to just have some products which are in the bank itself. So do you have some more products in the bank?
Yes, see, savings is important both for a man or a woman. So, I mean, a woman has to just go ahead and just like all the men are saving for themselves or for the family. And they also have to be actually an important part in the common decisions of the household. And as you say, not only banks, even post offices, which are there in even the small villages, or SBI Bank now has reached, or I believe all small villages. So they have a savings account. One can, they also have fixed deposits, and even the post offices have where you can deposit small amounts every month. And in little towns and cities, so they have agents who even come home and help you invest in post offices. And even nowadays in towns and cities, even banks come home. And so all that facilities, like even a woman doesn't have to go out also, maybe, the bank or the post office come to her and help her take the money from her and invest it. And nowadays online facility too is there, so even a woman can just learn how to do online banking, internet banking, and do it. Post office, besides small savings, they have public provident fund, Kisan Vikas Patra, national savings certificates, their post office time deposits, monthly schemes by the post offices. So post office and banks, they are so easily available that one must take use of these facilities and invest. It's really very simple. It's not rocket science or something.
Absolutely, and it is safe. I feel it
Very
is more
safe.
safe.
SBI
Yes.
and post offices is very safe, which most of the villages and towns, that's the main thing. In cities you have much more choices, but
Yeah.
SBI and post office, they are backed by the government.
Right. So also, for example, in the rural places where women feel that the money in the house where they have kept may be taken away by the husband. No, it is more insecure to keep the money in the house because they may take away forcefully. The woman would be beaten up or taken up, and then the money would be taken. Whatever her saving is been taken up by the husband sometimes. But if she keeps it in the bank, it is more safer. And this is becoming an incentive for them to go to the bank and deposit their money there. Yeah, this is a very good.
We are advising our home maids also, and they also, once they have realized that their husbands take away their money, so they also tell us only to open their account and invest their money. They say our salary from, at least they are working in so many houses, so at least one house put in there. So even everybody is realizing the need to put the money in the banks rather than keep it in the cupboards at home.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of hope for the women in the next 30 or 10 years, maybe 30, we don't know. But yeah, coming to 10 years, we can have more financially literate women and taking care of their finances and becoming more financially empowered. So lastly, I would just would like to ask Kavita, what is that one advice you will give to the women to become money wise, which is our quest now, become money wise?
Yeah, so one thing is that, let me tell you that a man is not inherited with all those properties to learn how to invest your money. So if a man goes out and educates himself, even a woman can do it. It's
Absolutely.
just like no big rocket science. She can take help of a advisor on the net. Good books, TV shows, all are there. You can take guidance from there. Now so many financial advisors also are there to help you, but you must be a part of the financial decision making of a household. So
Right.
it's better that you start budgeting and saving, and also certain other things I would like to tell a woman is that, especially married women, that you should be a joint holder in your husband's saving and all investment, or at least you should be a nominee. You should be aware of all his savings and investments.
Right.
And also now, because of internet banking, she must be aware of all usernames, passwords, all the life insurance, health insurance, public provident funds, whatever investment your husband is having. You should be aware of everything and not say that no, that's not my job. Should be aware, should educate herself, invest her time in getting the knowledge, and keep herself abreast of all the saving schemes government takes out from time to time for the women.
Yeah. So nice. It is important to, what I beautifully liked was to really invest in yourself, in learning to educate yourself. So that is the best investment that you can do, is to first invest yourself, to make yourself financially literate. To become financially empowered, you have to first start from becoming financially literate. So thank you so much, Kavita. It was such a great learning speaking to you, and I'm sure all the audience who would now view this video, and they will really learn some things from this, and they will feel a little more empowered now, and they will get that one push to really go and know about all the things which they should be knowing, so that they feel more safe and secure in their life. Instead of investing in so many other things, it is best to invest to become and educate yourself to become more financially literate. Thank you so much, Kavita. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.